experiences dormancy in hot periods.
The funny thing, too, is like if it's getting too much water, it can exhibit very close to the same signs, right? Like if you're drowning it. So say you have a potted plant,
true.
You think it's like too hot or it's not getting enough water and it's wilting, and it's because you're killing the roots,
suffocating the roots. Yeah,
so it's not able to uptake. Yep. And it looks the exact same as like it's not uptaking or not getting water to uptake.
Once you see the symptoms of in that instance of a plant, it's highly unlikely that it will pull out of it. Because once it shows the signs of wilt from overwatering, all those little hairy little feeder roots are void of oxygen, and then they shut down. And if those shut down and nothing's crossing that membrane, everything shuts down. The whole vascular system, the plumbing of the entire plant just bottoms out. So,
yeah. Well, you should tell me too, like in a pot, if it gets too hot, then the roots those little feeder roots will also start to go, and then you try to water in it, and it's too late. Yeah. Even though the wilting has just happened. I mean, I probably push my plants too far, because they're wilting or I forget about them or whatever, and I water them. And
the house plants or the yard
Just plants? The house plants.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have very many house plants because I forget about them. But the environment outside is so much more stable for plants because they don't dry out as quickly. I mean, I have
groundwater shifts quite a bit. Yeah.
I have clay soils that holds onto the water a heck of a lot longer. I mean, that is one positive thing about clay soil is you don't have to water it all the time.
Yeah. It has a lot more holding sites on that particle.
Yeah. Was a surface area.
So that gradient, just kind of as a quick recap, as far as why the plumbing works so well in an upwards fashion. Through trees and plants and shrubs and whatnot, is it's pulling it to the gradient is pulling the water from the most to the least concentration.
Okay.
So like if you think about the air has water, right? H2O, but it's a lot less than your groundwater or your soil or. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's channels that the water could then be dispersed and evaporated out.
That's pretty cool stuff.
Sure.
The one thing I really like too, like how I check my plants to see if they're watered, is there is a cooling process that happens through evapotranspiration that actually physically will cool the leaf down. So you can check your leaves. And it might not be wilting yet, but you could touch it, and if it is visible or physically cooler than the ambient air temperature or whatever, it's fine. But if you touch it and it's actually maybe a little warm, or it's you don't really notice anything, then you need to water it, and that'll happen before wilting. And then you'll if you wait too long, you'll start to see that wilt happen. So that's how I check my plants.
Well, and on that point, too, you just made me think of something that once in a while in the morning, you can go out. Like a summer morning, you go out and your grass has condensation on it. Part of that is probably from atmospheric condensation where there's water in the air and it comes down. Another part of that can be, it's called guttation. And it's a term that we use in horticulture where water is being pulled up so fast through the xylem and the plumbing of the plant that it will leave a little tiny droplet on the leaves of that. And I've seen that in the greenhouse once in a while when plants have plenty of water, copious amounts of water. It's like they're pulling it up, and where does it go? I mean, it can't evaporate fast enough, so it just kind of leaves a little tiny droplet on the tip of the leaf. It's kind of interesting, kind of cool. Yeah.
Well, all right, there we go. Well, thanks, Brad.
Rock on, Babylon, you bet, Blaine.
See ya. All right, well, there you go. That was episode 55. I want to thank Brad for doing this with me, and I want to thank the podlings out there so much for listening. And thanks to the topic, how trees move water. Check out horticult.com for your horticult needs. We have a blog, shop, and other links to our social media on there. Help support the podcast by liking and sharing. That is a huge thing to support us, to like and share us. If you really love us, give us a review on iTunes. On Facebook, on Wednesday, I do a live stream, and I'm calling it Live Stream Wednesday. I just go over my garden. I'll go to parks and kind of critique and show you on video things that we talk about in the podcast. Thanks so much, and remember to plant on, Babylon.